Greeks, Armenians, Russians, Arabs, and Kurdish, they are all enemies of our nation. And these enemies harbor secretive, shrewd, and traitorous plans to divide our territory among themselves. The narrative that the students are fed is that the only ones who have been killed, annihilated, and destroyed in their history are we Turks ourselves. The Ottomans, according to this version of history, benevolently tolerated not only the Armenians and the Greeks, but all Christians and other peoples. However, the latter, the Christians, didn't appreciate the value of this tolerance and reciprocated with ingratitude and trashing. This is the history I was told. We were told in this school. And this is unfortunately not a satire, not a joke, I'm telling you. It is the truth. This is how we grew up in Turkey. For the past 95 years, we and our children have been fed these lies a part of our education. The reform of Turkish alphabet, there is another important point that you should know. Reform alphabet, so-called Alphabet Reform 1928, helped promote this distortion of history. The change from Arabic letters to Latin ones was presented as a great revolution at the time. One of the end results, however, is that the society was thrown into dark about any events that occurred before 1928. Today, Turkish people are literally unable to read, discover, and uncover their own recent history. We turn into an ignorant masses, unable to read even the writings of our own grandparents, and so we have a generation today who have no clue about their own past. My mom could not read Arabic or Ottoman, and first in my 50s, 40s, late 40s, when I learned very good reading Arabic, I was able to translate one of the letters of my grandma to my mom. This is the first time she learned. This is the society we have to imagine. They never transcribed anything else before 1928. This is a total cultural break. So, up until now, it would be fair to say that Turkish state was quite successful in this campaign. Official denial as a nationalist version of history have dominated the public sphere for 95 years. But this is changing now, slowly but steadily and surely. There is a general rule, in social science. That is, that you can never really kill memory. You can suppress it, silence it for a long time, but when the moment is right, like a volcano, it will erupt. What you are witnessing now is the rebellion in Turkey against the suppressed silence and expression of narrative that was never openly discussed before. 10 years ago, imagine now, close your eyes, 10 years ago, 2002 or 1990s, how many of you would have imagined that intellectuals of Turkey would come forward one by one and bravely begin talking about genocide? The television programs would be presented, that dozens of articles would be written in newspapers and magazines using the word genocide openly. On April 24, I counted more than 30 op-eds in different Turkish newspapers by journalists using the term genocide openly. And the book would be sold freely on the subject. Which of you could have imagined the conferences on Armenian genocide would be organized in different cities of Turkey? Could any of you have believed that any apology campaign would be started in Turkey regarding what happened to Armenians in 1915, and that 30,000 people would sign on to it? Could you have foreseen that after our dear Hrant was assassinated, hundreds of thousands of people would fill the streets shouting, "We are all Hrants, we are all Armenians"? And finally, could you ever have imagined that a call would go out to the people of Turkey to gather at Taksim Square in Istanbul publicly for April 24 to commemorate the loss of Armenians? This is its third year, and every year number is growing. This year there were around 5,000 people to commemorate Armenian genocide in Istanbul Square. And this year's keynote speaker was a Muslim woman who wears a headscarf. I'm telling you this not to convince you, don't get me wrong. I don't even want to spread hope on this day filled with pain. We have so many reasons to be pessimistic. Still, some things have started to change, albeit ever so slow. Turkey is starting to shed its skin, and we are taking part in a witnessing in its metamorphosis. We are only at the start of this journey, and there are many miles to go. But we know also that we are just observers of this history. We are creating it too. And this is my message here to you also. The political and social actors are changing in Turkey, and accordingly, we have to change our way of talking on Armenian genocide. Turkey is not the homogeneous bloc anymore. So we have to find a new language. Our conventional thinking around must change. As you know, let me be honest with all of us, let's be honest. Getting American Congress to pass official recognition of Armenian genocide has been the central focus of the political struggle that we have here. This has been the old paradigm, I call it, that there is a denialist Turkey. We have to win over United States Congress, and the Congress should pressure Turkey on behalf of, so that we can get the recognition we deserve. What I'm trying to say that is falls short of addressing the issue as a whole under new circumstances. There is a new locus of interest, and this is Turkish civil society. And it is important to get in touch and connected with people in Turkey, because this is a fight, our common cause, our common fight. You would say, of course, many of you ask, I know, why should I, you say? It is my family, my ancestors who were wrong. Why should I lift my finger to make my enemies understand what they did, you would say? Are Turks deaf, dumb, blind, as well as cruel? Many of you will say Turks should talk to other Turks. This is a domestic problem, I don't care. When you feel that way, just remember the Armenians 100 years ago. The Armenians 100 years ago were the reformers of the Ottoman Empire. The Armenians lost the struggle in part because the powers and people inside and outside the Ottoman Empire took little interest in the Armenian demands for civil liberties. They were asking only for more social rights and reforms, but their voice was not be able to come outside. Nobody listened to them. And the Armenians' losses 100 years, indeed, their near extermination as a people signified the death of democracy in the region and in Turkey for a long time. If we have a genuine interest in the state of Armenia today, if we care for the last existing state of Armenia's survival in the region, then we cannot afford to repeat, much less defend, the mistakes of the past. We have to listen to the voices coming from the Middle East. And we cannot sit idle by while there is a serious struggle going on, not just for the sake of Turkey, but also for Armenia and the region as a whole. We need to be a part of the moving region along towards a positive end. There is a new generation in Turkey. This generation did not commit the genocide. It is not guilty of murder. And what is worse, they do not know what you know. They are completely in the dark about what happened through no fault of their own. They have been kept purposely ignorant and, even worse, brainwashed with a loss of lies, but most importantly, they are starting to realize this. We, new generation in Turkey, I also have a moral and political responsibility towards our history and ourselves. We know that the recognition of Armenian genocide is the last milestone in this development, and we have to fight for it. We, actually, Turks, need recognition of the past, because without honesty about the crimes of the past, without justice, we cannot establish a true democracy. We can have no hope of preventing future crimes unless we own up to the ones in the past. As a representative of this generation, I am here to share your pain and suffering and urge to you to step forward on a mission. Let's work together, because this is not just a Turkish issue or Armenian issue. It is an issue of justice and human rights that involves all humanity. Let me finish with an anecdote. Several years ago, the documentary, some of them may watch, A Wall of Silence, was made about Professor Vahakın Dadrian and me. At the end of the film, there is a Turkish song playing in the background with the verse, "Senden ayrılalı gülmedim dostum, dostum. Since leaving you, I have not laughed, my friend, my dear friend," is the song. I think this expresses both our situations and yours and Turkey's. Believe me, since you left, Anatolia has not left much. Since you left, Anatolia has lost a lot. The history of Anatolia is the history of so much pain, mostly yours. I'm ashamed and truly sorry, not only as a Turk, but as a human being, about the great injustices that happened to you. I know I cannot bring back those you lost, but I want to share your pain and your sadness with you. I thank you for your trust in me, for allowing me to mourn with you, and to remember our losses together. The genocide was a tremendous loss, not only for Armenians, but also for all humanity. And therefore, not only as Turks or as Armenians, but as a human beings, we must struggle together so that such a crime against humanity is never repeated. I thank you for your interest you have shown towards me. I embrace you with warmth and love. Thank you very much.